Hello, it's CoachBusi, and today, don't you love my guests? Aren't they just amazing? I feel like the happiest Toastmaster as I interact with all these guests. Today, I have Lee, the absolutely charismatic, the
Wow.
one has the most amazing laugh in Toastmaster world. Toastmaster Nomsa, welcome to Toast Talks with Coach Busi.
Thank you, Coach Busi. It is such a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I told you she has the amazing laugh. Did you see that? It's such a pleasure, and she goes straight into her Nomsa trademark laugh. Those are people who, when their laugh is contagious. You just feel happy just by hearing them laugh. You don't even need to know what it is she's laughing about. That's Toastmaster Nomsa for you. We're going to try and have a semi-serious conversation, but if we get to laughing, I have put the disclaimer right off the bat. Toastmaster Nomsa, it's such a pleasure to have you with me today, and the guests are going to have such a good time because you are one of those good time Toastmasters. Tell me,
Thank you so much.
your genesis, your journey for Toastmasters. Where did it begin? How did you end up in this very interesting Toastmaster world where I find so much joy? How did you get into it?
Would you believe that it has only been 2 years, 3 years, going on 3 years now in Toastmasters? It has been such an adventure. I've never had such a whirlwind experience with anything before. Toastmasters was coming to Victoria Falls, and the club was starting. And one of the club mentors knew me from the interactions within the tourism industry. They were a particular guest of mine, for of which we had built up a rapport. And she phones and she says to me in these exact words, Ngoma, Toastmasters is coming, and yes, you are already a part of it. And I'm thinking, how? I'm so busy, I'm hectic, I'm in school, now what? And she was like, yeah, but she was not going to take any of my excuses. I could see even before I put them forward. So I purposed in my mind that I was going to go for the launch meeting. I was going to go for a couple of meetings after that, literally 2 meetings after that. And then I was just going to disappear and leave, you know? Ah, oh my goodness. Oh, was I not far from the truth at all? So it then happened that when the launch meeting happened, they decided that I was good enough to be the Toastmaster of the day for that day, the MC. And I'm thinking, dear God, I have never done this before. How is it going to happen? How did I end up here? Like everything is happening. And I just said to myself, okay, fine. All things are possible. Let's see what to do. So we had this meeting, and the meeting went so very well. It was a beautiful meeting. I enjoyed being MC for that particular day. I enjoyed seeing the people that came through and the excitement, the vibe that was there. And I was like, okay, one down, 2 meetings to go, then we're done. We're disappearing. We're doing this. We are really getting out of here. We don't need any more stress. Then we continued, and by the way, we need an exco. I'm like, okay. So I stand behind everybody, and I'm like, well, let's wait and see who's going to be part of the exco. And the person who's going to be president, my good friend Toastmaster Arnold Msonza, turns around and says, yeah, okay, I'll take up the position of president on one condition. I'm like, what would your condition be? It's so early in forming this club. And he says, no, well, my condition is that that little one over there, that short one, that one is going to be my vice. I was like, oh, here we go. So much for the 2 more meetings. But yes, to cut a long story short, I was VPE in our very first year. And it showed me what it's like to work with volunteers, what it's like to actually put your all into something that you don't necessarily get paid for, something that you do not always get recognized for, something
Mhm.
that you do not gain the obvious from, but you gain it on the inside and you grow while you're putting in your effort. So that was the first year. Second year, we had an agreement that we would switch roles. I would become president, he would become the VPE. I was all good. Come 2023, 2024, towards the end, I'm beginning to celebrate. I'm letting go Exco. I'm done. I can be a Toastmaster, just a member. I would just do speeches and watch. The call for ADs came, and I chose to ignore it. I chose to ignore it. And I was like, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The call comes again. And then somebody phones me and says, young lady, how long do you think this is going to go on for? Like, no, well, AD is so far off. I've just been president. I just want to take a break. Break for what, my child? It's not going to happen. Get your act together. You can do this. Oh my God. Next thing I know, I'm writing the email to the district director. If you still need another volunteer, I'm here. I'm like, hey, after I'm done sending the letter, I'm like, Nomsa, come on. You know, you know how to get yourself in trouble here. Nevertheless, interview happened. Yes, here she is, Area Director H3, but also in Victoria Falls Toastmasters Club, I'm serving as the VPPR at the moment. So yes, it has been a ride of note, but I don't regret a single thing from it. I have met the most beautiful, the most accommodating, the most nurturing people I would have met anywhere else. And it is so amazing what a core group this is and what you could gain if you just decide to apply yourself. So yeah, that's me and my 3 year journey. I think, well, 2.5.
Mm, You see, my listeners, I told you. Now, you know I like to talk. When I keep quiet because Nomsa is talking, you know the girl can talk. She could have, and I am so glad she finally put a pause in the story. But there are things that I picked up. When the Toastmaster bag bites, you are done. You can forget all those thoughts that you had, those preconceived thoughts, they just fly out the window.
True.
Because when that bag hits you,
You're
meeting
done.
by seeing the people you meet are just like an extension of your family. You have all this network, this community that rallies behind you.
Mm,
However, that happens when you are all in.
exactly. Exactly.
There are two types of Toastmasters. There are Toastmasters that come to try it out, maybe
Mhm.
because it's interesting to be called a Toastmaster. They
Exactly.
have a goal. They don't really have a destination where they want
Mhm.
the Toastmasters to take them. They have they're floating. Now you know in Alice in Wonderland they say the cat says to Alice, if you don't have a destination, any road
Any
will.
road can take you
If you take that approach with Toastmasters, the road to take you somewhere and the road to take you nowhere, it just depends which day you're on.
there.
You can
Exactly.
go nowhere and decide not to renew because you don't have a nation.
Mm,
But if you're going somewhere, I know which road you will take. So it is easier to put in your GPS coordinates right at the beginning. And here comes my question for you. In
mm,
all that seem to happen fluidly, at any point, did you then set a compass to say, this is what I want to achieve as a Toastmaster? What is your why? What is the purpose that you are on this journey and you're taking on more roles and now you're area director. Got it.
As fate would have it, at the time the Toastmasters came in, or just before that, I had decided that I was going to change the direction my career was taking. So it is. I've been a hotelier for the longest time, and I have wanted to be a hotelier since I think I was 14 years old or something to that effect. So that is all that I have ever known. However, I've always been told that I have all these other skills that I would be able to put into play. And
Mm,
I got to a point where I decided that the tourism industry may not be the place where I could actually hone these skills and actually use them at the end of the day. So Toastmasters opened my eyes up to a whole other life, a whole other world that I
right.
could take advantage of as far as my career is concerned. And it came in simultaneously as I was also doing my marketing degree. And at the end of the day, I decided, yes, so I will not just have marketing as a second degree. I could actually use that and leapfrog that and either start my own business or actually go into the corporate communications arena and work in that. There have been a lot of people within the Toastmasters arena that have been willing to give me pointers as to how I could actually start off my career in that area. And I have been so grateful for them. And the one thing that I enjoy seeing about Toastmasters is people do not carry their titles with them. When they get to Toastmasters, it's almost like everybody throws their hats in the arena and they're like, right, what can I do for you? You know, and you pick and choose who you want to work with, how they can, influence your decisions and so forth. So I've been so blessed to, besides all the other networks and the other areas that I've been involved in my life that I could also draw from, Toastmasters has been quite the well of knowledge that I am privileged to be able to draw from and use. So yes, my why is I realized after all that, yeah, 20 something years later, nevertheless, I realized that my destiny was in my own hands. And it doesn't have to be, or I do not have to be stuck. I do
Mm.
not have to be stuck. I can move, I can go out, and I could actually change my way of life or the direction my life was taken and take and do something that I could actually, enjoy and learn from later on in life. So yes, that's my why.
Now, with this particular why, it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like it has a lot to do with your monetizing the skills that
Mhm.
spawning in from Toastmasters. It may sound like I harp on this, but people don't become Toastmasters because they say the subscription is not for everyone.
Mhm.
They think that the $60 is a lot, and this is $60 for 6 months.
That's exactly
We break it down, that's $10
10.
a month. Tell me, for $10 a month, and what you are envisioning where you are going, even as you are still making that road towards that destination, is this $10 breaking the bank for you? Or is it really the fuel that's taking you to where you want to go?
For what I'm getting out of Toastmasters, $10 would never break the bank for me. Never. I I feel privileged that I could actually tap into this resource for that amount of money, right? It's not always that I have that amount of money on hand to say, let's go out and pay, we'll pay in advance and so forth and so on. But I tell you that when I do pay it, I pay it with an open heart. I do not pay to say, look, what's in it for me? No, because what is in it for me has manifested itself in ways that I could never have envisioned or even planned for. So at the end of the day, it's a right that I'm taking. The resources, the learning resources are the ones that I'm in control of. The networking resources are another story altogether. I've made friends with people that I think on a regular, I would never speak to them. You know, I may be too afraid to even approach them. But at this point in time, because of interactions within the club and what you do and how you do it as well, it's been absolutely amazing. So to get back to your question, in all honesty, $10 does not break the bank. Toastmasters is more than just speeches and evaluations. However, notes, you need to put your all into it. You need to get out of it. You need to be in it.
I could not have put it any better. As fears, because one thing that I love about Toastmasters, it doesn't just touch a few aspects of your life. It sort of overflows into so many other areas.
It does.
Let's talk about social life for
Mm.
you, Toastmasters. Is there any benefit? Are there any benefits that you see that spring from Toastmasters and overflow into any of your social spheres?
Well, yes, my life is pretty much centered around my church. Am I allowed to say who what I do, where I go? So I'm a member of the Celebration Church, right? And Celebration Church based in Victoria Falls.
Mhm.
I That arena has taught me to serve with an open heart, regardless of what position, what title you hold. You know, you walk in and be willing to help somebody out with a child by babysitting. Be willing to serve, maybe in the floor team in the church or whichever way. But without Toastmasters, I would never have been able to garner the confidence to say, yes, I'm serving you, but at the same time, this is the boundary of how far we can go. At this point in time, we need to move out of this arena and go somewhere else. And do it in a manner that does not insult them or leave me feeling diminished. So Toastmasters helped me a lot in that. And you know, when you go to church gatherings, people seem to think that everybody is nice because it's church and whatnot, whatnot. Not always. Not always. And you do encounter the difficult person that just does not want to follow instructions or do what it is that they've been asked to do. But
Mhm.
again, Toastmasters has helped me a lot. On the other side, um, I've also started facilitating events. And yes, recently I had a national event that I was asked to facilitate, and I had never done that before. And they had all these expectations. And when I looked at it, at the end of the day, I was the Toastmaster of the day, general evaluator, and tag team all in one by myself. And it was very possible. It was easy enough to do. And when somebody then comes back at the end of the day and says, "Yo, how many years have you been doing this for?" You're like, okay, I must have done something right. But with the background in Toastmasters, it's easy for you to time somebody's speech and tell them that their time is up. It is easy for you to say to the coordinator, look, we've got a bit of extra time here. Can we put a focus group or a discussion going? Can I facilitate that for you? Toastmaster of the day, that is what you are doing left, right, and center during a meeting. So it flowed naturally because of that, right? And when you go home, and I am the, how do I put it? I'm the oldest Murora, not because I'm the oldest in age, but because I'm married to the oldest brother. And a lot of coordinating is needed when you have family functions or even family decisions to make. And quite a few things are done in the background, right? And there you are as the general evaluator, watching things go on and even advising to say, okay, fine, we have seen this. You're a bit late with this. Maybe we should go around this way. You understand who to approach, how to approach, and everything, And with confidence, you can actually do that because you have been doing it in the Toastmasters meetings. You've had a practice ground. So socially, yes, it has impacted me remarkably. And I have grown from strength to strength in the various roles that I have socially that have helped me with all of this.
You know what you just said is so important because
Mm,
when I mentioned that Toastmaster life overflows into all aspects of life,
that's
you have gone and I'm assuming in the family setting, when things don't go exactly right, as the general evaluator, you give the good, you give the great, and then you give the secret sauce to how we can better improve what we are
that.
working on. And you do it in such a way that it's palatable,
Mm-hmm.
take it and embrace it so that the whole thing that you're all working on becomes better. General evaluation is one of my favorite pieces of
Okay.
Toastmasters. And in our club, Global Women Extraordinary, we try by all means to get people who are outside our club so that we keep
Mm,
seeing and hearing different aspects of how we can grow. Because when
so
you
true.
club, you have a way of doing things and you're so
Exactly.
you get comfortable, right? But with
Yes.
general evaluator from somewhere else, it has opened us up to understanding, looking at our club from different aspects,
Mm,
which is really key, to open yourself up to that because people can come and tell you you're not as great as you think you are, but in a nice way, so that you think,
exactly.
so how do we get greater?
Exactly. Exactly.
Using skill in a family setting is priceless. It is
Mm,
absolutely priceless.
absolutely true.
And our oldest Morora, it also has its own interesting because you trust as the know-it-all. You need a buy-in, and Toastmasters.
Oh, always, 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 always.
We say in Toastmasters, if it's not fun, it's not Toastmasters.
Definitely not.
What are the fun aspects of Toastmasters, or do you have a memorable fun moment that you'd like to share so that people can understand exactly what we mean? That if it's not fun, it's not Toastmasters.
So, um, this was one of my weirdest meetings that I'd ever had. On the one meeting when I was still president, we had the numbers were very, very small. And you had to go into people's inboxes. We don't have a grammarian right now. Can you take it up? We don't have an archanta right now. Can we take it up? And we came to the point where we had no table topics. But on that day, for some unknown reason, I was feeling jazzed up. I was, I was in a mood. I just wanted to have fun, despite the disappointment of people not pitching up for this meeting. So, come table topics. And our Toastmaster of the day turns around and says, yes, so table topics. I'm like, don't worry, we're right here. And I started finding songs from the 80s. And I would play a snippet of this song, and I would pick somebody from out there from the club and say, right, tell me how the song makes you feel or what the song does to you or whatnot. And that was a table topic session for the day. What made me laugh is I kept on envisioning my younger self dancing my little legs off to these songs. And here I was asking people to join me in my madness. So it was one of the fun things. while we've got an agenda and a way in which we do things, we are not limited in our imagination of how to draw people in. So that's the fun bit, because the imagination, as you know, is not the same for everybody. It is not. It is an exciting, exciting world, and different for each individual. And on that day, because I was just feeling naughty and wanted to just make noise, here I was making people dance, and it actually energized the room and revived the room. Everybody was like, we didn't know. And the meeting sort of ended earlier than people wanted it to end, kind of situation, because of that music segment. So yeah, that was one of my, or the ones that I can remember, of my fun bits with Toastmasters. But it just highlighted that you know what, you are not confined in a box.
Not only are you not confined in a box, you never know what to expect whenever
You
you are
don't.
Toastmasters meeting. And I told you guys, hold on to your seat. You see what she did right there? I've never seen it done at any club. But I've taken, I am going to borrow that. I will definitely.
Please tell me the meeting you're going to do this, and I need to watch.
Oh, I am so going to do that. And you see, and for my club, our numbers are pretty interesting. We can go as
Mm,
high as 34, 43. Now, I'm just the vibe that can come up in a meeting like that, and I'm playing
exactly.
is the song that came. You really don't want me to sing it out, so I'm not gonna say. Oh, I my song selection of the 80s needs to be saved. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Wait.
So I'm
I
definitely
cannot wait.
this is going to be fun. No, sir. Thank you so much for the time that you agreed to come and sit with us. I'm going to ask you to leave the listeners with one benefit. I know you've already said a plethora of benefits that you have received from being a Toastmaster. I'm going to ask you to give us one very pointed, very direct, intentional benefit that you'd like them to know that you have received as a Toastmaster.
Growth, 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 growth. If I could say it for a whole minute, I would. Growth. And it's not just growth in the sense of I'm a better speaker now. It is not just growth in the sense of the network has grown. It is growth in also the other very individual characteristics and aspects that I have had. I am much more patient than I ever was before after I joined Toastmasters. I am much more understanding of people's situations than I was before. I am much more accommodating and flexible with plans. So even when things don't go right, they don't shake me up as they used to before. I mean, my world could come to an end just because we've got a white background instead of a red one. But now, really, white background. Oh man, can we just put pink splashes on it and we go? Yes, happy days. Let's move on, kind of situation. Yes. But that's all because Toastmasters has taught me that, you know what? This is how life is. And when it gives you lemons, believe it or not, lemonade is the easiest thing to come by, but you've got your lemon meringue pie, you've got your lemon cake that can come out of it, you've got your lemon curd pudding, anything can happen with the lemons that you've got. So why not just dive in there and enjoy making all these sub menus out of this one ingredient that you have got? Growth. It has been so amazing, and it has, I think Toastmasters has helped me a lot in making my own life easy. So even when life hits you, it's nice for you to turn around and say, it's been a bad day. Let me go for a meeting and find out what vibe they're coming up with, you know, and there you are, and or you go onto the groups and you start reading who has done what and who has achieved what, and it sort of picks you up as you go along. So growth, 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 growth. It's an amazing place to be.
Nomsa, thank you. I take that for myself. That is indeed a benefit. Growth, growth, growth. Fellow Toastmasters, those undecided Toastmasters, because I believe if you're watching, you are a Toastmaster who just hasn't paid her sum, his sum yet. May I invite you to subscribe, like this channel, keep following up until you see that $10 a month is not going to break the bank, but the growth, growth, growth that you will get is going to blow your mind. And that
Definitely.
you never know when you may be dancing to table topics in a meeting, because I can see a lot of Toastmasters taking that leaf out of Nomsa's page and saying, it is time for us to dance and talk about how we feel when we hear the songs from the times that have gone by.
Exactly.
Thanks for bringing the vibe today, Nomsa. You
Thank you
all
for having
disappoint. You always show up with that vibe. If it's not fun, it's not
me. It's not
Toastmasters.
just masters.
And in Toast Talks with CoachBusi, we always make sure that you never forget that phrase. And on that,
Definitely.
until the next time on Toast Talks with CoachBusi, let's always give some love to Toastmaster Nomsa and look out for the next gift. Over and out.